Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're so welcome here today. It is Wednesday the 29th of January 2024 and I'm coming to you as always from my little craft room in the southwest of England, Devon, where I live with my husband, our two teenagers and our two dogs. I hope you're all well this morning. I'm coming to you from a very dull, dreary, but not raining Devon. It has poured here and been so windy for days and days now. We had two named storms this past week and we got the full batter, I think, of both, and it just seemed to continue. So although it's dull this morning, it's not rainy and it's not windy, so we'll take it. But as it's January in the UK, I have the lights on, very little natural light, so I hope that doesn't take away from your watching pleasure. Got a cup of coffee this morning. My hope is in you. And this is one of my favourite mugs actually. I love it. It says, forget it without burning my hands, black coffee. Or it says strong and courageous in the inside. Yes, as I say, you're very welcome here today. I'm sorry if it sounds a bit echoey, and I feel it does sound a bit echoey. I hope it's okay. My big son, I have a son who's about 6'2" and broad built, and I went to change his bed, the sheets on his bed yesterday. As you know, with a teenage boy, if you can't remember when the sheets were changed, you know they need changed. And when I took the sheets off his bed was broken. It was not a new to us bed, and I'd say he's probably flopped down on it a few times, which hasn't helped. So the bed that is normally in my craft room, which maybe muffles a bit of the noise of because there's a laminate floor, has now gone into his room. Upside, I have a lot more room. It's chaos behind you at the moment. I found all sorts of things when we moved the bed out, but I'm sorry if it's a wee bit echoey. Hopefully we can do something about that if it is a bother, but hopefully it doesn't deter your watching. Anyway, we're here. We've got knitting to talk about. We've got finished objects. We've got plans. So if you want to spend a bit of time with me today, go and get your coffee or your tea or whatever you drink. Get your craft, get your project. And we'll chat for a while, if that's okay. Oh, that's nice. It is actually quite chilly in our house today, so all the woolies are on. I have woolly socks on, I have my woolly jumper on and my woolly scarf on, and I feel fine. And it's definitely been much colder recently, which as my period in life I've actually quite enjoyed. But it's quite nippy in the house because you can't have the heat on all the time. It was on this morning for the kids getting up for school, but that was 6:30. It's now 11, so a bit later this morning than I normally record because life, and so I hope you'll forgive me for that. What am I wearing? Well, this is, of course, the famous Simon shawl by Twinset and Purl. This is mine at last. I have knit so many of these and didn't keep any of them because they were such good gifts. I have another bright pink one that I haven't worn much yet. You would have seen that in the last podcast. My car died a sad, lonely death. So I actually haven't been out anywhere really. We live in the countryside. There's only 3 buses a day. The weather's been so awful that I haven't gone too far, apart from Nigel, my husband, was in Ireland last week and I went to pick him up in the most horrendous weather on Sunday from Newquay Airport. Up to then I really hardly went over the door. A few school things, but that was it. So anyway, all to say, I've been wearing my shawls in the house to keep me warm, but I haven't worn a nice bright pink one out yet, so I'll maybe do that this week. This sweater is underneath. You can see, if you've not the glare of the light, wee bit of mock cables there. You see that? Not really. This is I wrote it down because I knit it over about a year and a half ago. This is the Poise sweater by Hannah of Herbgarden Knitwear. I test knit this when I was still doing test knits, I used Woolyknit Worth Mill, which is billed as a DK, but it's only 200 meters per 100 grams, which I want to say is nearly on to a worsted, and so it is a chunky, bulletproof sweater. The ladies in my knit group say it's too toothy for them, but I don't find. I do have a t-shirt under it, but I could wear it next to skin, and it's the colourway denim that is showing up pretty good. It's got quite a lot of wee bits on it. They're in the wool. It's not just because of how I stored it. And then this is the colourway cinnamon. I think it's coming up. It was a lovely knit, only it was knit, the test knit was in June of 23, and we had a heat wave, so I didn't wear it too much, and then I had my own heat waves, so this is sort of the first time that I've been wearing it a lot, and I really, really like it. Just, yeah, she's got some beautiful patterns, so you could go over and check her out. But for a colour work yoke, I'm trying to think, would it do as a first? I think it would do as a first. She's a very, very detailed pattern, and size inclusive to, like I did a size 12, so that's how size inclusive it is, and there was many after, I think there was 5 sizes after mine. So if you haven't heard of her, or you think this looks nice, go over and check out Herbgarden Knitwear, but obviously I'll put everything in the description box. So yeah, really like it. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing, and I need it today. I'm cold. Not cold compared to Norway or something, but it's damp and cold, you know, it goes through to your bones. Anyway, all the gift away and the Cal prizes were claimed, and they've all been received. So I'm always happy when that happens, and I can get them out of my rotation in my craft room. So I'm sure we'll do another gift away. I love giving away stuff, and sorry, my dogs are outside barking. People give me things all the time for giveaways, so there'll be another one very soon. Right, enough owl waffle. It's everything's everywhere because moving the bed, I had boxes under it, I had stuff on top of it. This is my craft room / spare room, so everything's everywhere, but I hope I've got everything that we need. Right, we'll start with FOs. I mocked my husband in my last podcast as he had man flu. He was in bed when I podcast the last time 2 weeks ago, and I shouldn't have, because I got a good going dose of the cold. Not as bad, obviously, or as life-threatening as his man flu, but I did feel pretty miserable, and as I say, with no car, I was able to get quite a lot done. I have, of course, finished the Rachel Shawl, which is a Twinset and Purl pattern, but it's secret. Apparently it's being revealed on the 7th of February by them, and then it's being released at Unravel for Nellie and Eve. She knit it in Nellie and Eve yarn. And so Nellie and Eve, who's lovely Helen, the yarn dyer from Nellie and Eve, will have it on her stall at Unravel. And I actually used some Nellie and Eve yarn, but there's no point talking much more about it now. I showed the yarn last time. Hopefully when I podcast again, I can show you the glory that is the Rachel Shawl. They let me test knit it. That's I would say not the truth. they had to bring me down off the ledge. It was not a difficult thing, but I got right inside my head about test knitting. If they just said, would you knit it, I would have been fine, but I got right inside my head about test knitting, and I made life difficult for myself. But once I got the clearance, it was knit up beautifully. It's repetitive, it's meditative, and I love it, but I can't show you it until at least the 7th of February, but you will see it then, and I would say I never have it off. So that was one finished, and it's amazing, you know, I am not a monogamous knitter. If you've watched before, you know I'm not, but I just knit on that. I couldn't put it down, and it's amazing how much you get done when you only knit in one thing. And then you remember at Christmas I knit my husband some socks for the first time ever. but whenever he put them on, they were a bit baggy. 18 years of marriage, and I didn't realise how skinny his ankles are. So we went back to the drawing board, and he loves them. I actually washed them in a bit of a hot wash, and they've come in a bit. They haven't felted, but they've come in a bit, so he's enjoying wearing them. But he said, I've created a monster, obviously, would you knit me some more? But he's doesn't really like anything that's not black or navy. So I went through my stash to see what I have and how I could improve the fit for him. And this is what I came up with, and I talked about it a bit on the last podcast. So I cast on 60 stitches, but when I got down to the heel flap and gusset and the decreases here, I only decreased down to 64. So this is 60, the leg's 60 and the foot is 64, and they fit him great. Wee tiny bit neat to get on, but they're the same size as the commercial socks he wears. So and it's a 7-inch leg, and look at the stitch definition of those. They're not blocked, by the way. I'm not blocking his socks. I just put them on these to let you see, and they're even a wee bit. He's about a size 10 or 11, and this is Malabrigo Ultimate Sock, and it is gorgeous to work with. Definitely would love some more of it, but yeah, not purchasing that at the moment. They're blowing out a bit. That's it there. Is it? The artificial light's not doing me any. There we go. Anyway, it's Malibu. Sorry, I put all these in a plastic bag. Rustle. So it's Ultimate Sock. Now they have two. One is Ultimate Sock and one is Sock. I bought the sock and realised there was no nylon in it. I know Rachel of Twinset and Purl loves it, but I think for a working man, and for me, they wouldn't last. So I think this is just as nice. So Ultimate Sock from Malabrigo, and the colourway is Wales Road. There you go, Malabrigo. I stapled this on and stapled it over the word Malabrigo. Anyway, really lovely. Not the cheapest, but considering it's a commercial sock yarn, but I think I might have got that one on eBay. If you've watched my podcast for any of the time, you know most of my really nice yarn is from eBay, D-stashes, or birthday treats. So that's those. So those can go to him. He keeps asking me for them, and those can go to him now. And I've got another pair on the go. So up to last night, up to this morning, these were going to be a hoe, but now I've got a finished object, as I had some waiting around to do this morning early on. And these are January socks for my, what's that hanging off? A piece of, they're showing up so well. These are January socks for my daughter Eva. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Not blocked, obviously. I literally finished them an hour ago. I have to admit, I just slipped in with that, didn't I, for January? I have to admit, my sock mojo hasn't been high. And I'm going to tell you something, and just keep it to yourselves. I think I might be enjoying Magic Loop. Don't tell anybody. I have been an avid 9-inch circular knitter for socks and sleeves since I started knitting socks. I never tried anything else. I never tried, well, I kind of tried DPNs, and the devil sticks were definitely not for me. I got them stuck under my nails, I dropped them, all the rest of it. And Magic Loop looked really slow and complicated. So I just always use 9-inch circulars, but these ones here were too tight on a 9-inch circular, but I felt with the 60 stitches, so I did the Magic Loop. But then I did the foot 9-inch circular because it's faster for me. And I thought I never knit the heel flap and gusset and everything in Magic Loop, so I just thought, I'll just give it a try, and I knit the whole sock in Magic Loop, and I quite like it. So, and I suppose the way to look at it is I can do one in circulars, and I can always have a couple of pairs on the go, can't I? So anyway, these are from the Lucky Dip that I have a bag put together. Eva chose 12 skeins from my my stash. To my shame, I have 12 skeins of sock yarn and more. And that's not to my shame. I am very blessed. I am not justifying my stash, and I'm very, very blessed to have such lovely yarn in my life. And I'd be able to gift it and bless other people with it. So this gorgeous yarn is from, oh, what was that? Is from Attic Spin Dye, firm favourite of mine, who's always at lots of shows. So if you're in the UK and you go to any of the yarn shows, check them out. And they have a plethora of colours, designs, yarn bases, everything. And this is Neon City, and it is superwash merino nylon. 400, good big skein. There's quite a lot left. 425 metres, and she wanted a 6-inch leg. I don't do rows, I do inches. So she's a size 7.5. And so those are hers. So those are from January. Just, I thought I wasn't going to get them done in January because my sock mojo hasn't been massively high. And I haven't been, anyway, I tend to knit my socks when I go to knit group. I haven't been in knit group in weeks because of no car and other life happenings. And I really want to get back, because although we've lost our coffee shop that we normally meet in, they found another one. So I want to get back into the swing of normality after Christmas and the new year. So those will go to Eva. That's number one. I was going to say to her, well, I'll put them all in a box and you get them at Christmas. And she looked at me like, are you insane? So those will go to her. And just incidentally, she picked out her new skein last night. She closed her eyes and she put her hand in. So you've looked at those with the neon flashes. This is what is the next one. It's so different. So different. She just said it was so pretty. It's so soft. Gorgeous. Look at that. It unraveled a wee bit in the bag when she pulled it out. And this is from Lay Family Yarn. Everybody knows Lay Family Yarn. And it's superwash merino nylon, 75/25. This is a good big skein too, 425 metres, and it's unicorn cupcake. When I think of Eva, I don't think of this, but she picked it and she wanted it. It's the same as that, but this is softer. Yet it's the same. So gorgeous. She definitely prefers the stripes and the bright colours, but who knows why she picked this one. But I get those knit up for her in February. Got less days in February, haven't I? So I'll have to get on the go. So that's the next one out of the bag of 12 to get on the needles. So there you go. Right, I'm 100 miles an hour. I'm just sorry. I know some people watch this with captions. I can't imagine what they must say that I say. And my dad was commenting the other day how many times I touch my face in my glasses. I went to Specsavers on Saturday. We have an early morning prayer meeting at our church on Saturday, and I popped in. It's right next door. Popped in when it was finished and asked if they could tighten these, and I think they've made them worse. They feel looser than they did before I went in, so I'll have to go in again. So I'm constantly pushing them up my nose. Then the final, so that's the Rachel Shawl, my husband's socks, Eva's socks. So oh no, the Rachel Shawl's for me. I was going to say there's nothing for me in these FOs. What do I need? Let me see. Yes, sorry, I'll get this out so I can stop rustling. Sorry. I think that's the only one I need yet. So, if you have been watching, see, you need to watch. That's why, because I keep saying if you've been watching, you know Eva asked me to knit her a sweater in about October last year, but I just finished a bottom up sweater, and although I'm getting onto them now, it wasn't my favourite at the time, and this sweater was bottom up. And I felt, she picked out the yarn and everything, and I felt awful because I just couldn't face it. So in December, I thought I would start, and then the Rachel Shawl took over and all the rest of it. But I've got it finished, and she's actually been wearing it, and she wanted to wear it today, only I took it off her, and she's away without it, so but she'll have it from now on. And the sweater is the Willow Pullover by Andrea Gaughan. You see, it's lattice work. So the front cover is kind of, I wouldn't say cropped, but, and then the inside one is there was two lengths, a good bit baggier and a good bit longer. Well, Eva didn't want it too baggy or too long, and at one point I thought I'd done it too small. when she picked out the yarn, I literally had to the millimetre of what the recommended amount is in this sweater, but actually was left with 50 grams left. So I'll just keep that in case anything, oh, it's beautiful, in case anything needs changed. I thought I was going to have to knit the sleeves a wee bit longer, but it's superwash and it's stretched when I blocked it. But this is the yarn. Look, I mean, it doesn't do it justice. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's called Emerald Noir. So I took a picture of her wearing it last night, but it's a rubbish photograph because it was last night. There was no way she was going to take a picture before she went to school this morning, and it was dark anyway. And but I'll show you the fit. I'll show you the fit that she has, and she loves it. I'd say it'll stretch a bit more in wearing because it's super wash, but this yarn is Floof Fibres. I think I said this before. I think I got this the Christmas of lockdown. I knit her a waistcoat in the Garnet Noir, and I think she must have had a sale on or something. I wouldn't have bought that much yarn for one person. And this is Emerald Noir. She has a whole range of these noirs, and it's DK. It's a really good yardage, 243 meters. Looking at this backwards in my thing, in 100 grams and 80/20, and she's still got this range. So Floof Fibres, and I thought I contacted her to see if she had none left in this, but she said she would be down more, but I haven't needed to look at that. So I didn't helical knit, which I normally would do for using hand-dyed yarn, but Eva wasn't bothered. I've sewed in all the ends, but she's obviously been wearing this with the tail, but maybe she uses it to see where the back is, and this is the sweater. I thought initially I'd maybe made a bad yarn choice because there's eyelets in it, and I thought I'm worried it'll stretch and bag out, but then I can just wash it in. So look at that. It's blowing my face out. It's so dark. So, oh, it is gorgeous. It's not my style. I wouldn't wear it, but she's 16 and she loves it. She loves handmade stuff. She crochets herself. She's making she's changing circumstances. She's decided A-levels aren't for her, and she's applied for another couple of courses. She's leaving school. She's been so unhappy. So she's a hard worker. She's tried her best, and so she's crocheting gifts for her teachers, and she's crocheted bunches of flowers. She's crocheting a little bear at the moment. She says she'll let me take photographs of them, and she's crocheting away at the moment. But she learned to knit, but she doesn't knit. But she is super knit worthy. Will only wear hand knit socks, and absolutely loves anything I've knit for. And I'm sure there'll be more requests in the future. But anyway, this is her jumper. It's I can't get the colour right, but it's really lovely. Now, definitely not for a beginner knitter. You can see I maybe should have I don't know how I would have helical knitted because there's eyelets every few rows and stuff, but she's not bothered. She actually likes it that it's kind of, yeah. I see if I can get better pictures and put them on my Instagram. She's not that keen to have her photograph taken, but she did it for me. But you can see it's just gorgeous. It's as soft as anything. All I would say about the pattern is that, and I think I said last time, there's two charts you follow, because you knit it in the round up to the armpits, so the oxters as we would say, and then you split and you knit one side. No, you knit the back. No, you don't. You knit the right front, the left front, you knit the back, and then you 3 needle bind off at the top, which is always lovely and neat. It's always I think it's a lovely, neat way to do it. But whenever you're doing up here, you're also raglaning, you're also short rowing, you're also doing raglet, you're also doing short rows, and you're also doing decreases, and the same in the arms. So the second chart, see where she said, oh, see where the wording is. Yeah, working pattern based on the existing stitches, using this chart as a guide. And I realised how spoon-fed we are now, you know, with the new modern patterns. Like literally, some patterns like this one, for instance, give you every single detail. And it was interesting to realise that you had to actually use your brain and work out. So it's probably not perfect, but I think it's good enough. I can't see that if you're standing too close to Eva to see if there's any mistakes, you're standing too close. So it suits, the colour is gorgeous on my red head. Absolutely gorgeous. Green always looks beautiful on her, and she's not a girly girl, which is why I was surprised by this. But anyway, and I was thrilled to make it for her, but I'm glad it's off the needles. So those were the Rachel and this were quite big projects, but thoroughly enjoyable. And yeah, if you like that sort of thing, go ahead, but it isn't a beginner friendly pattern. She doesn't state that it is, and I was able to get, I did size 3, but I did stretch it out a wee bit on blocking. When I knit it, it was negative ease, but I knew with the superwash it would loosen out a bit. So that means that I have all those things off my needles. Those were all sort of ongoing projects. I'm just changing my notes page here. So yeah, that's all the FOs. Yeah. Oh, and as I say, I had a hoe until this morning, and that was Eva's socks. So whips, what whips do I have? Well, very few. I had nothing actually, apart from Eva's socks until about 3 days ago. And whenever I was knitting my husband's socks, quite a few people said that they also have skinny ankled husbands. And that what they do is the whole leg and rib. And I love my husband, but do I love him that much to do 7 inches of rib? Well, I suppose I do. He's not bad. So I went into the bag that I had brought out the dark yarns and picked out one that was already caked up. That's the thought process. That's how much I thought about it. And I started on the rib. Now I normally do, for a rib, I normally do through the back loop rib. What do you call that? Oh my goodness. Please shout at the screen anyway, but I thought I couldn't do that the whole way down. So backward loop? No, I don't know. So I'm just doing rib. So I'm going to see how it goes. It still feels very loose, but it might grip his ankle a bit better. And I have had this skein for a while from Dusty Dimples. She did a sale, mystery sale, and you got, I think, 3 skeins for £25 or something like a while ago, and there's no colourway, nothing on it. She was just doing a clear out, I think. So Dusty Dimples. And Hannah and I both, Hannah of Hannah's Happy Space, both got them, and we mixed and matched with what we got, and this was one of the ones that I got, and I thought that's perfect for Nigel's boring socks. There is a wee bit of like tail in it. Sorry, there's something. My dogs are barking. I say my dogs, they're my husband's dogs. I put up with them. So we'll see how that goes. I certainly won't be knitting the what I'll do, I think, is just try that once I've done a good wee bit of the rib. Just literally try it on his foot and ankle and see. Am I using 9 inch? I'm using 9 inch for this. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm not finishing the socks if that doesn't work. And if the 60 stitch cast on works, I'll just stick with that and see how that goes. Then I needed something else on the needles. Where is it here? I have had this yarn. I'm losing the plot now. Oh. I think not this last birthday, my birthday's in March, so not March 23, but March 22. I think I saw this yarn on the John Arbon website, and I had to have it because I love the yarn dyer. I love her techniques. It's botanically dyed, and I had to have it. And I thought, it's my birthday, let's get it. And Nigel bought me it, and I had to have it. Couldn't live without it, and I've never used it. I've lifted it out numerous times. I've seen projects I thought I could use with it, and I've got 4 skeins, but didn't realise that they're 2 different yarn bases, and very significantly look different, so I didn't feel I could, the colours look the same. It was not their fault, it was my fault. I got overexcited, and so I didn't feel I could put them together in a project necessarily. So this is what I've decided to use them for, and it's divine to knit with, but I've only literally just cast on. So I am knitting, I'm getting on the bandwagon of vests. I have several long sleeve dresses that I wear, and putting sweaters over them is too warm, so vests sound like a good option. Now, I didn't print the front page because this is, so it's Sari Nordland's Audrey top, just very plain. I've never knit a Sari Nordland, so I thought this would be a good introduction to it. There'll be a better one there. And the yarn I'm using is, it's in my redesigned bag. I also got that for my birthday last year. And I'm using these gorgeous Woolmatters. Oh, I love it, but it's kind of out of my price range now. It's ethical British merino 4-ply. So these 2 skeins are merino, and 2 skeins that I thought matched are BFL, so I'll use those another time. There's 350 meters in per 100 grams, and it's called spring bulbs. But when I weighed them, look at the size of the cakes. There's over 130 grams in each of these cakes, so I actually probably got my value for money. It's a wee bit duller than that, but when I was skeining them up, and when I looked at them in the skein, I thought, is that just really plump yarn? But when I skeined them up, my ball winder stopped because there was so much on the thing, and when I took them off and weighed them, one was 128 and one was 132. So I think I've done all right. So there's nothing to look at, but I just thought I would show you how they're knitting up. It's quite a different construction. This is the back. I just think it's gorgeous. It's so plump and beautiful. Just beautiful. So I think you knit the back and then pick up stitches, and so I think it's going to be a fantastic project for just knitting round and round and round, because I have a couple of complicated projects I want to do. So that's the Woolmatters yarn for the Audrey top by Sari Nordland. If you've knit it, let me know what you think of it. I won't be wearing it sleeveless. Nobody needs to see the tops of my arms, and I plan to wear it over something. I've got a few plain dresses that'll go nicely over, and I didn't have enough to do like a sweater. Didn't think a shawl would. It's too fussy for a shawl, so I think that's a good alternative. Then, as you know, I was wearing it last time. I knit a Porty pullover by Gudrun Johnston, and I just love it. It's probably the most worn thing I've had since I've knit it, and I want to knit another one. And I have quite a wee stash of Jamieson and Smith, the wee 25 gram balls. Hank's Yarn Parlour or Studio? Yeah, Hank's Yarn Parlour, I'm going to say, in Belfast, had a Boxing Day sale, and I think it was either 3 for 2. So if you bought 3, you got 1 for free. So I had a wee stock up. Thought that was very good value, and I think I got sort of random colours, but I've chosen ones now that I'm going to knit another Porty. As I said before, I think depending on what colours you use, it could look like a completely different sweater. So the last one was rusts and browns and blues, and this one I have this yarn. So the Porty sweater, just to remind you, and it's top down. I couldn't remember last time. So the Porty sweater by Gudrun Johnston. So I already have one, but I enjoyed knitting it, and I'm going to knit another one. stops my knitting. I cast on if I want to. I haven't said that in a while. And this is the yarn I'm going to use for the body. It's from Woolyknit, same place as this. Now, I'm not sure if I like the wee naps, but they come off, so it's like a midnight navy. It's not as dark as that, the light's shining on it. I have 2 of those, so that's 400 grams. And then for the colour work, I'm going to do, oh, I brought out another ball and didn't bring it here. Never mind. Never mind. And I'm going to do these colours, or am I? So I thought for these colours for the colour work, so I think it would be that way. Can't remember what way it goes, I haven't decided. But I think this one is too close to the body. Well, I don't know. So I have a royal blue, like a cobalt blue, and I might use that one instead. So if you imagine this, but that's a wee bit more cobalt blue. I think it's going to be gorgeous. Sorry, lighting. Anyway, so that's my choices for my, I did that all by myself. I don't normally do colour choices by myself. I usually either follow exactly to the pattern or ask somebody else to pick my colours. So I hope I haven't overstepped my giftings of colour choices. But I'll be truthful, I actually looked up Ravelry of other projects and I saw kind of a combination of that in someone else's project, and of course that's in my lovely Babylon leather bag, which I absolutely love, fell in love with. Thank you to those who purchased some. There's been a good wee bit of commission come through for Lamb Hospital in Bangladesh, and I hope you enjoy knitting it. I've had several emails to say that their stock is in shortage at the minute. Well, hopefully that's because lots of you bought it. But I can't say enough good things. I love it. I've used it for a project already, and I'm going to use it for this project. So that's I'll put the discount code down below. It gives you 5% off a leather bag, free postage, and it's 5% off with the code Ruth. But if you use that code, a little bit of commission comes my way, and I then give that on to the hospital in Bangladesh. So that's my Babylon leather bag. I'm going to put this down without knocking the stand. Then I think that would be enough, but oh no. So I'm going to have Evas socks, Nigel socks, the Audrey top, the Porty pullover. I'm not probably going to knit on these all at one go, don't worry. And then I couldn't go cold turkey completely on Twinset and Purl. I think I would get the shakes. So I've had the Hilary shawl in my library since, it says 2024. I think I got it as soon as it came out. Oh, look. I don't know why I haven't knit it. I think other things just came up. And I chose yarn out of my stash to knit that. And it's this, darker. That's it. It's from Telling Yarn. I think I got this when I was in John Arbon weekend 2 years ago. Yeah, it's 75 BFL, 25 Gotland, and it's spun at Laxton's Mill, and it's 350 meters per 100 grams fingering weight. I mean, that's too orange, but you can see it's not just a flat color. It's got beautiful strands through it, and it's gorgeous. BFL's definitely my BFL Masham mix is my favorite. I've decided yarn base, and I want all of it in my life. But this is pretty cool too. So I don't know when I'll cast that on. That's the plans. I'd love to just cast it all on, have it all sort of tottering over, so that there's always something that I can just put my hand to whatever mood I'm in. I know some people stress out if they've got more than one thing on the go, but that's it. So that's socks, a sweater, a vest, a short, it's different stuff. So depending on what mood I'm in, what I'll be doing. So, and then last but not least, this is the project that I have mentioned before that I am not sure if I'll be able to do. I like to think I can turn my hand to most things, despite the menopause brain, which makes me overthink things and get anxious over stupid things. I have looked at this for ages, and I decided just after Christmas, no, in December, yeah, the week between Christmas and New Year, that I was going to treat myself to the yarn for this. So some of it came from Hank's yarn parlour, and some of it came from some of it came from Jamieson and Smith in Scotland. So you'll have seen this before because I've knit something else out of it. This is Shetland Wool Week. I always get these. I just love them. It's from 2021, volume 7. Now, I previously knit this one, the Gotland lace yoke. I did it in a cobalt blue and much brighter than this one, and I've worn it so much. I knit a short sleeve version of it, and kind of made the sleeves a wee bit puffed. So I always get compliments on it because it's quite bright. So but the pattern before it, let me see if I can get you a better picture. It's called the Roosty Tank Top by Herbgarden. Oh, there's not very many. Oh, there's it there. Oh, let's see if I covered up the chart. And it's this. Oh, now it's horizontal stripes, which I would be told at my size I shouldn't be wearing, but gorgeous. But I don't think the pictures do it justice because it looks quite dull. And I ordered the so it's called the Roosty Tank Top. See, we've started saying slip over and vest, but in the UK we call it a tank top, or we did. By Herbgarden, and I actually just ordered the colours that she used, and they're in my trusty wool warehouse bag. And I think it's brighter. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but I think it's going to be brighter than the picture, because like that's quite, where is it? That's not bright, but it's not dull either. So there's a big bag of goodies that I am going to use to make that vest. I am going to try not to rush it. I'm going to try and take it as a nice meditative thing so I don't get frustrated if I get mixed up and tangled up and all the rest of it. So I just love the Shetland colour work. I just love it. I was a bit ambitious and thought that I would do some of the Marie Wallen ones, but not in this period of my life. I just find the ones in the Wool Week are really well written, and the charts are good sizes and all the rest of it. So I'm going to stick with those. I think Marie Wallen is beyond me at the moment. But I have this bag of goodies. I'm not sure when it'll be cast on. It can be cast on today. It can be cast on, don't know when. But my ambition is to have one of those vests in my life. The only thing I find, and I've said it before, with the Shetland patterns, are that they don't say how many grams. So they say, oh, 3 balls of this, 3 balls of that, 4 balls of this, 6 balls of that. And sometimes you're left with a lot of leftovers. I understand they want you to buy Jamiesons or Jamiesons and Smith. I understand that. But it does mean that you're maybe buying more than you need. But they're I think, very reasonably priced. If you buy them off Wool Warehouse, you always get 10% off and free shipping. But I just love having this chocolate box full of all the different colours. I have the shade cards. I bought those a couple years ago, and I've used them so much. I have a lot of shade cards. I know when you look at shade cards, you think, oh, that's expensive. I've shade cards for John Arbon. I've shade cards for Jamieson and Smith. I've shade card for Jamieson's. I have a shade card for JC Rennie. I got it a long time ago too, when I went to the factory or the mill. And yes, initially you think, oh, they're a bit expensive, but it's saved me so many mistakes, because photographs don't do it justice. So if I would really recommend shade cards. So one and done, you've bought it and that's it. They've paid off numerous times for me, because is that the colour? Is especially like you know, John Arbon's numbered ones, they're so similar, it's hard to guess. And the likes of you know, Jamieson's and Smith, they're so well done, but there's like just a wee shade difference, and when you go on the likes of their website, it maybe isn't just completely accurate. So I found them, I think it was money well spent at the time. Anyway, that's me. So that's in a bag I got from Amazon years and years and years ago, but it's a great big size with lots of pockets in it. So it's not by a maker. I don't know who did it. It was probably bought it before I even realised there was Etsy or anything like that. So 45 minutes of waffle. So I have Nigel's socks, I have the Audrey top, I have the Porty pullover, I have the Hilary shawl, and I have the Roosty tank top. But as I say, I will just knit on them as and when. There could be something else completely different cast on when I see you again. As I always say, it's my knitting, I'll cast on if I want to. There's no knitting police. There's no nobody knocking on my door to say you're doing the wrong projects or you're whatever. I'm going to enjoy them all, and I'm going to take my time to really just enjoy the process. I am a process knitter. The end product for me is actually just a bonus. I have finished things and ripped them out if they haven't suited. I love knitting for others. I love trying things. I'm getting a wee bit braver. I feel like my brain's maybe settling a wee bit, and I've been able to try a few things that I wouldn't normally try. I am blessed beyond measure to have the yarn I have. I'm going to show you some more in a minute, and I don't take it for granted, but I do very little else. I buy my yarn from gifts. I save money that people have given me for gifts. I go to de-stashes, I go on eBay, I wait for sales. People often say to me, how do you have such beautiful yarn? Well, I am frugal in other areas of my life, so I can afford it. It brings me joy. It brings me joy. I don't smoke or drink. We rarely go out to eat because my husband has dietary issues, and it is my one love in life. And yeah, that's it. As long as your bills are paid and you support other people, I think just enjoy your craft and all that it brings. If your budget stretches to, you know, £1.99 acrylic yarn, brilliant. Use it, knit it, enjoy it. If your budget stretches to cashmere, whatever, brilliant. Knit it, enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. I often get comments after podcasts or emails to say, you know, I don't want to watch because I don't have the money to spend on those things. Well, that's just, you know, that's fine. My biggest benefactor was my father-in-law, my lovely father-in-law, who we lost in September. He gave me money and told me to buy yarn with it, and he's gone, so that's gone, and so I will have to be much more careful. But that's how I've been able to enjoy some lovely bits. But there's been a lot online recently about sort of yarn snobbery and all of that. I think we just keep our judgments to ourselves. I think nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And nobody forces you to watch these things. If I turn on things that I don't like, I turn them off. it's like you know, nobody's stepping over me like that either with a big stick saying you must watch that. And I love watching hauls. I love watching what people use. I've never once coveted what they have. I'm just thrilled that they can buy it. Yeah, just live life. Just live life. Anyway, I wasn't going to talk about that. That's a very big tangent. We'll draw ourselves back. On that note, a few things have come in. Now, I'm not going to show you. I think this year, as stuff comes in and as I use it, you'll see it. Unless something really amazing, like a yarn show or something. But 3 gifts came in. All the way from, 2 of them are all the way from Canada. I think with Canada Post, they sat somewhere for months. They were both sent in early November, and I got them last week. So, and one of the poor viewers kept messaging me, is it not arrived yet? Is it not arrived yet? So I'm not going to say their names because I haven't asked, but I'm going to show what they sent me, and I'll show this first. So a lovely viewer, oh hang on, sorry, that's it. A lovely viewer got in touch with me to get my address. She wanted to send me something. I always say you don't have to, please don't feel I've got so much blah blah blah, but this is what she sent me. Can you see it? Maybe you can't, maybe you need to. It says Ruth loves to knit. So I think that maybe needs to go up behind me here. It's made of metal. I don't know where it came from. And I'm chuffed to bits with it. You probably can't see it too clearly. Nothing dark. Well, maybe. Hang on. No, it doesn't help. Sure it doesn't. Anyway, you can imagine it. So that'll definitely have to go up on my wall or my door or something. I think it needs to be seen in a podcast, doesn't it? So thank you very much for that. I don't know if she did it herself. I don't know what it was. And then these are the lovely goodies that I had sort of forgotten about, and when they came it was such a lovely surprise. So a lovely lady from Canada, we actually, Eva and I just been talking and saying, I keep seeing on Instagram all these beautiful bags with scripture text on or beautiful words, and we don't seem to have them here in the UK. I've never seen any. Please let me know if you do see them. I'm not a sewist, so I couldn't make them myself, but this was arrived. Don't know if you can see it because it's dark, but it's Amazing Grace, and some of the words from Amazing Grace we all know. Even if you're at church going, you know the song Amazing Grace. So it was funny, we'd just been talking about it that week, and this turned up, and this was made by the lady who sent me it and her mum, and it's such a good size. And this Hilary shawl will be going into it the minute I show you. Now she sent me, us maybe the family, a massive box of goodies, and there's some still left because I've hidden them. So I'll show you the yarn she sent first. This beautiful yarn. She messaged me and said she was going to a yarn show and she would like to send me some, and it's Cog yarns. I have obviously never heard of them. And it's hand-dyed fingering yarn, single ply, love it. 100% superwash merino, 115 grams, and the colourway is Sunshine. She knows my, it's made in Regina SK, and she knows my love for yellow. Now this is not going to show up. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. All the way from Canada. And I happen to have in my stash this one from Ching Fibres, again de-stash, and I thought those two, it's a singles, I thought those two would go. The colours aren't showing up very well, but there's definitely this and this, so I might use those in a shawl. Not helical knitting, sort of, or I might not, I might just use this and have this beautiful skein around my neck. Anyway, and then she sent, let's see, there's something else knitting related. Yes, the most gorgeous little progress keeper. Look at that, isn't that just so dainty and beautiful? And then now my son has dug into some of these, but you can see I think I've been very good and very disciplined. I haven't eaten these. Look at that, Sweeties, Kit Kats, Arrows. She sent Sour Patch Kids, which went the minute we opened the package. My son took those. Some things that we don't get in the UK, or so nibs, and I've never had this one before and I'm keeping it for a special occasion. And a big box of Smarties, which my son has forgotten about because he's asked me about them several times. But anyway, and these apparently are lovely too. I've never seen them before, but I'm keeping them for special occasion. So this bag will be put into rotation straight away. Thank you so much. Beyond generous, and I'm beyond grateful. And this, lo and behold, this one came, I think maybe on the Saturday, and then on the Monday or Tuesday, the door was knocked again, and this arrived. Now, this is just amazing. If you've watched before, you know my favourite sweets. You can keep your posh artisan sweets. You can keep your posh chocolate. This is my favourite. Licorice. Look at this. I've never seen licorice all sorts like this before. We get little bags. Licorice all sorts. Is there a weight on it? 700 grams of licorice all sorts. Now I haven't opened them because I know what they'll be like. I'm rationing them and they're heavy to post. But not just that. if you've watched before, you'll know I've already had this yarn, and my daughter, and I knit them up with socks, and my daughter took them. Lovely Nancy from Knit Sip Happy sent me them, but look, I got a replacement, and these are mine. They're from Turtle Purl yarn, and same place as the last place, and if I remember right, they're called All Sorts. They're not, I don't think they're called Licorice All Sorts, probably aren't allowed to do that. I haven't taken them out of the packet, but those are mine, and I might actually, they're two exact 50 grams, and these are definitely not going to, I might use one of the colours as heels and toes, might not, see? And thank you so much. And she sent me the most beautiful card. Look at that. Gorgeous. You know, I quite often get discouraged by some really negative and horrible messages. And then you get something like that and you just think, oh, kindness of strangers, whole way from Canada, to somebody they've never met before. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And then just last but least, I want to show you these just to show I bought these myself, just to show this wee business. It's Rowan Berry and Robin. She's on Ko-fi, and I changed my logo on my podcast, and I got some stickers done just to be able to send away from you know, in gifts and stuff, and maybe to give out, I don't know. And she's even cut them into you know, so you could give them out. And very reasonable if you're looking for something like that. Very reasonable, super quick, and super helpful, and loads of communication. So Rowan Berry and Robin, highly recommend. Right, my bag's empty, my heart's full. I'm gonna have to hide all these sweets again, forget I've got them, so that I don't eat them. My coffee's probably cold, but last time I did a podcast, my husband did the little endy bit. If you've never watched before, or you haven't read this, you'll know that I'm a Christian, and at the end of every podcast I usually share something that God's put on my heart or is in my mind or something, but my husband did it for me last week, and unknown to me, he had recorded 2. Now, it was the night of the flu, so he looks rough, the lighting's not very good, and he didn't want me to put this up, but I'm not a submissive wife, obviously. I said, look, it's fine. And we've been going through quite a wee bit as a family, just some personal things. And I was just feeling a bit, well, and I didn't realise what he'd recorded. But I think I want to put it up. And he says he's not looking at the screen very often, but I just told him we're all looking down at our crafts, so he doesn't need to worry about it. He was going to re-record it. I said, no, the viewers of my podcast will be very gracious and will be fine with it. But the topic he's speaking on has really spoken to my heart this week. Just from some of the things that have been going on for us. And I hope it speaks to your heart. I hope that you're able to take a wee minute or two just to spend time with Nigel and to just be reminded of God's goodness, God's grace, and God's mercy. So I'm just going to put it on now. I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'll probably be the one doing it next time. Myself and my friend Caroline are going to Flock in Bristol on Saturday, so that'll be a good time. Hopefully maybe see some of you there. Always good cup of tea and a bit of cake there and chat and seeing all their lovely yarn. And then middle of February, myself and Eva are going home to Northern Ireland. That's where I'm from, to see my mum and dad. I haven't seen them, that'll be nearly a year, just with one thing and another. So hopefully that'll happen. Someday I'll go for longer and we can maybe meet up with some of the Northern Irish knitters, but it's never happened yet. I'd love to do a wee tour of the yarn shops as well. But anyway, all that to say, I hope you'll spend some time with Nigel now, and thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for just being there and all your encouragement. Leave me a wee message if you want to. I love to read them. I heart them all so you know that I've read them all. If you leave me a question, I will answer it. And I haven't said actually where you can find me. I'm Ruthlovestoknit podcast on Instagram. I'm ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com, and I'm ruthlovestoknit on Ravelry. Get in touch with me if you want to say anything, ask me anything, or just share anything. Right, I'll stop waffling now and I'll pass you over to Nigel. All right, God bless. Bye.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Nigel. I am Ruth's husband, and I'm just going to share a little verse with you from the Bible. It's found in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Now, there are many of us today, and we may smile and laugh, but deep down we have cares, worries and concerns and things that trouble us. And this is a wonderful verse here to know that God cares, and we're told to cast all our care upon him, for he cares for us. We can all know what it's like to get uptight and get worried and concerned, get anxious, and we fret and get fearful at times, but we have a God who cares, a God who loves us, and he knows all our concerns. There are two parts to this verse. The first part deals with our care, our concern, and the second part deals with God's care and God's concern for us. We are told to cast our situations, our worries, our fears, our anxieties, cast your care upon him. We have a God who cares, a God who loves us, a God who wants to be our guide and be our strength. And he knows what we go through. Don't ever be tempted to think that God is not interested in you and in what is happening in your life. He loves you and he cares for you. He has an intimate knowledge of all that you have faced in life, all that you're going through right now. He knows everything about it. And God knows the disappointments we've faced in life. He knows the difficulties. He knows when things haven't worked out as we would like. And he cares for us. And the dreams that have maybe been shattered, and things that have gone wrong because of maybe misguided advice we've took or something, he understands all of these issues and he cares. And he loves us dearly. And he died on the cross for us. He knows the heartache. He knows the guilt we feel. He knows the things that keep us awake at night. He knows the hurt that others have brought upon our lives. He knows the pain that our bad choices and selfishness have inflicted upon us. He knows about everything. He himself experienced rejection. He was ridiculed and rejected as he died for you and I on the cross. He knows, he understands. He knows what it's like to face physical and verbal abuse. He suffered that at the hands of the wicked soldiers as they mocked him and made little of him. He knows how degrading and belittling it can be, how it ruins our self-worth and self-confidence. He knows that feeling of aloneness. He faced loneliness as he hung on the cross there. And we too can face loneliness even in the midst of a crowd. But Jesus understands. When we have nobody to share our feelings with, we can turn to Jesus, the one who died for us and loves us and cares for us. He knows the losses, the bereavements, the rejections. He knows you're hurting. He wept over his friend Lazarus. Jesus wanted to be alone when he heard of his John the Baptist being beheaded or being killed. He went away to a deserted place to be on his own. He could not face people. And Jesus understands. He knows about those relationships that may not have worked out, or may not have continued, or worked out the way you expected or hoped. He knows about your tear-soaked pillow, the nights when you cry yourself to sleep. He knows about the times when your heart felt as if it was literally going to break. He knows. He cares. He loves you. He understands. Even if nobody else understands how you feel, Jesus loves you and cares for you. He wants to guide you. He cares for you. When you're tossing and turning at night and sleep evades you, when you wake up in the middle of the night, that problem, that worry, that concern, that thing is the first thing that comes to your mind. He is there, and you can call upon him in prayer and seek his help. He sees our concerns, and he loves us 1,000,000 times more than anybody else in this world. The Bible tells us he's not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. When that cloud of depression hangs over our soul, making life torturous, meaningless, and a drudgery, when getting out of the bed in the morning seems like a chore, when we can relate to this hymn, nothing seems hopeful, nothing seems glad, all is despairing, even times sad. And the chorus says, keep on believing. Jesus is near. Keep on believing. There's nothing to fear. Keep on believing. This is the way. Faith in the night as well as the day. We have a God who cares for us. A loving God. And can I encourage you, my friend, call upon him. Bring the problem to him. Leave the issue at the foot of the cross. Leave the issue with God and ask him for guidance. Ask him for his peace. He wants to give you peace, the peace of God which passes all understanding. And we're told there to cast our cares upon the Lord, for he cares for us. He cared enough to die on a wooden cross. He loved you that much that Jesus died for you. So I would encourage you, my friend, to put your trust in him. Him alone. We need to come to that point in our lives where we recognize we're sinners, and we've done things that are wrong in God's sight. But he's willing to forgive us. If we go directly to Jesus, confessing that sin, he will forgive us. He tells us to cast all our cares upon him. Everything. Why? Because he cares for you and I. He loves you. Thank you.